So here's the thing. In the past week, I've received no less than 5 calls from people telling me not to get vaccinated. My only response to these people is, unless you plan to go to med school, put on a dirty grey lab coat and a pair of rubber gloves and stick your finger up someone's bum for money, I'm not going to take medical advice from you. Hang on, wait, that doesn't apply for everyone. Meanwhile, in the great state of New South Wales, coronavirus continues to run rampant. We've received over 100 cases per day for the last couple of days. Businesses are going out of business, construction sites have been shut down, people are out of work. But thankfully, the New South Wales government continues to roll out small business support. The 3 areas I'm going to talk about today are the Job Saver program, the small business support grants, and the fees and charges rebate. But before I continue, I would love it if you would like or subscribe to this video, whatever platform it's on. It takes a bit of work to put these together, so your support is very highly appreciated. So first of all, we've got the Job Saver program. So this program is a 40% subsidy for wages you pay to your staff during the lockdown period. They haven't produced a lot of details as yet, as I said, it's not released, but it will be accessible via Service New South Wales. When this comes out, I will provide details as and when I find them. Secondly, we've got the small business fees and charges rebate. Again, not as encouraging as the other grants because it's not so much a cash grant as it is a discount of up to $1,500. So for example, if you're a tradie and you have to pay annual registration fees towards the state government, this $1,500 will go towards that. There is no way of getting that money back, but it is a welcome respite to the level of expenses you've got for the year. In order to be eligible for this $1,500 rebate, you need to prove that you've got wages of between $0 and $1.2 million per year. You've got an ABN that's registered in New South Wales, and you submit an accountant's letter that supports the above 2 facts. Thirdly, let's talk about the most common thing I'm getting called about in the last couple of days. It's the 2021 COVID-19 business support grants of up to $15,000. This doesn't mean everyone's going to receive $15,000. There are 3 tiers. The first tier being if you received a dip in revenue of 30%, you'll get $7,500. If you experienced a dip of 50%, you'll get $10,500. And if you received a dip of 70%, you'll get $15,000. Again, it's split into further fractals. You've got the highly impacted industries and the non-highly impacted industries. Then you split it by geography, which is the general group of us. And then you've got the southern border suburbs. So if you're in the southern border suburbs, they've got different rules for you. If you're a highly impacted industry, they've got different rules for you. I'm going to try and simplify it in this video. Now, first of all, as with everything, the devil is in the detail. Let's get rid of the people who are not eligible. This will make it a lot easier to tell if you'll receive these grants. First of all, if you are receiving passive income, like if you're a bank or if the business is primarily receiving rents or interest or dividends, you're not eligible. Secondly, if you're a business in liquidation, that is, business has got a liquidator appointed, or if you're a bankrupt with a bankruptcy trustee appointed, you're not going to receive these. Thirdly, you're not eligible for this if you're already receiving a disaster payment, if you're the sole director, or if you're a sole trader and already receiving the disaster payment, a weekly fee for people out of work. So let's talk about the major declarations you're going to need to make in your application. The first is that the expenses you're paying right now are not being supported by any other government grants. Obviously, if you've got support for these expenses, you're not allowed to count those in this application. The second thing you need to support is that you're making less than $10 million a year in wage payments. You're making between $75,000 and $50 million a year in revenue. You need to declare your employee headcount as at the 13th of July 2021 and make a declaration that you'll maintain this headcount. The most important thing that you'll need to prove is your reduction in revenue as a result of the lockdown. And they're going to look at a period of 14 days between the 26th of June and 17th of July, FY21. So you can pick any 14-day period in that area and compare it to the same period in 2019. So that is, if you say the 1st of July to the 14th of July 2021, you have to pick the same period in 2019. Now, generally speaking, what they're asking you to do is provide evidence of this drop. This evidence will be provided in the form of an accountant's letter. This accountant's letter they've got a template on their website. I've had to amend it because it didn't seem quite there. But it means it'll basically allow the accountant to verify that you've had this much turnover this year, this much turnover in FY19, and it provides them some kind of written support that you have received a drop in revenue. The 2 exclusions or sort of amendments to this rule are, 1, if you're in a highly impacted industry, For tiers 1 and 2, that is the $7,500 payment and the $10,500 payment, they only require you to declare rather than prove the evidence of. And if you are in one of the border suburbs, a list of those can be found. If this is on YouTube, I've provided a list down below in the comments. They've provided an extended period in between which you can pick those 14 days. And that extended period is the 27th of May to the 17th of July. So instead of the 26th of June, they've given you the 27th of May. And lastly, what I'd like to discuss, I've got 3 major tips. First of all, keep your records. In applying for this grant, you make an acknowledgement that you will allow them to come and audit this. One of the things that people do is they don't keep records, and it makes it very difficult down the line if you need to verify these expenses that you're claiming against the Service New South Wales. The second tip I'd give you is not to get creative. The ATO gave us a lot of money last year in the form of JobKeeper and the cash flow grants. As of this date, as of the date of this video, $300 million in claims have been made against people who wrongfully claimed those amounts. So imagine if you claim this amount from Service New South Wales and a year down the track they make you pay it back. And it's going to be even worse off if they find that you did this fraudulently. That's a criminal offense. And the last tip I can give everyone here is please like and subscribe to this video. I'm trying to build something where I can give people a constant source of education on this topic. So please support the channel, and I'd love to support you further.